Dilgeer cumna doğru sözükhna Hoş bu atrava var çakrava Thouk muchum Shah Thouk muchum Shah Hoş travun diganatına doğru sözükhna Hoş travun diganatına doğru sözükhna
Hi, my name is Aman and I'm really excited to show you the session breakdown for Dilgeer by Alif from the album Sia, Part 1, Hal. Welcome to the media tribes behind the song. So this song starts with an orchestral piece that we wrote before the main song starts. This is the piece by itself. If you hear the next part of the song, the tempo of the song is about 118 BPM, 4x4. Check this out. At 118 BPM, the verse starts, whereas the tempo of the first part of the song is 198 BPM. If you hear the same piece of music with the metronome, you'll get a perspective of how it was written. So if we break down the individual elements used in this section, we'd start with Omnisphere. The patch is called Dark Old String Orchestra, and this is how it sounds by itself. It's not quantized, it's played through the whole performance. We've got some backing with some more strings. And then we've got some brass section, some string section and string section. So there's violas and cello, and together they sound like this.
Dilgeer cumna doğru sözükhna Dilgeer cumna doğru sözükhna Karar sum şinget Ve kararan muzununum Nanvori drası bi khadara Nadir buz morkum Dilgeer cumna doğru sözükhna Dilgeer cumna doğru sözükhna.
So here, when we were ideating on the song, Muneem was playing this guitar riff, more like an arpeggio on the song, on an acoustic guitar. And I decided to kind of take that and arrange it in a way where it works with the song. So we recorded a Gibson Les Paul, and this is how the guitar sounds by itself. And we recorded a harmony to it, which sounds like this. And just to make the whole experience a little bigger, we DT'd the whole performance and then just panned them a little bit. So we've got 4 tracks, and that's the sound of the guitar. This is how the groove sounds with the song, and we'll break down the individual elements to understand how it's been put together. So this is groove by itself. It's all going into one group. If you want to listen to it individually, this is the kick drum. A few more kicks. Some snares. Some hats. All of these tracks are going into a group channel, and we've got some EQ in there. This is a Pultec Pro Legacy. It's a UAD plug. Without the plugin, this is how the groove sounds. The main bass sound for this part was a 808 slide that we got. This is how it sounds with the groove and the 808. And we got some single notes. Instead of playing changes on top of the groove and the bass, we got a Matrix 12 V from Arturia, and we just played like a little riff on top of it. This is how it sounds. That kind of keeps going. While we were ideating on the arrangement of the song, there was like a little vocal part that we came up with, and we just recorded on a phone, put it in the arrangement, and it kind of made to the record. We never retracked it. This is the vocal sample. And we've got a Serum synth, which is kind of doing a little bit of, it sounds like an electric guitar, and a piano on top of it to kind of finish the concept of how it sounds. So in the first part of the song, we've got a couple of synthesizers adding to the tension and kind of releasing the tension with respect to the groove, which is this here. So this is how it sounds, the arrangement. With the vocal, this is how it sounds.
Dilgeer Chum na dor sozakhna.
Muneem sang a few harmonies in the verse. This is how they sound. Together, the whole thing sounds like this.
Dilgeer Chum na dor sozakhna. Dilgeer Chum na dor sozakhna. Karar sum shinget bekararan uzununum nanavori dras bkhadara nadir buzum orkun. Dilgeer Chum na dor sozakhna. Dilgeer Chum na dor sozakhna. Hoş bu trav hab bar chakrav ha timsun dunyon bar trav ha Thouk mushum Shah Thouk mushum Shah واشترامن تغناتنا دور سوزخنا
This part of the song, there's just the groove, one 808 track, and I think the vocal, that's about it. So together, the whole thing sounds like this. In the chorus of the song, we introduce a new snare. So if you hear closely, that one. If you just turn them up, this is how they sound. And there are some arpeggios going on with the same sound used in the verse. Then we've got some retro synth. Post which we added an electric guitar. There's a Fender Stratocaster going straight into Universal Audio Apollo Twin and a Fender Tweed 57 amplifier. This is how the guitar sounds with the groove. Some string parts as well. I think just holding a couple of notes. And then the chorus.
We came up with the chorus. I remember. हाँ, उससे पहले हमने एक chorus किया था, तो chorus करके भेजा अमन को. अमन ने बोला नहीं काम कर रहा है. But then फिर ये हुआ. This happened. And it is only the opposite of what has been said before that. Jawaba buzum tuchuknimyon. I heard the answer, you're not mine. And immediately after that, the chorus goes, Tsi chukchoni. But only you are yours.
Chorus on top. To make the chorus wider, we got some backing vocals on top of Muneem's voice that gave that extra air. This is how it sounds. If you hear the whole thing without the vocal, there's like a little piano section that we've put, which kind of is very rhythmic. Next half of the song, we are discussing as to what can we do differently, where, you know, we can change the groove, or we can change or introduce a new time sign, or just do something that's a little surprising.
So basically, that whole section is called Wanvun. Wanvun is to sing. Wanvun is usually done or sung. You know, the family members वो line में ऐसे खड़ा रहते हैं, and there's a question answer. One side में 3-4 ladies, they're singing and together standing, and on the right hand side they're like answering thing. It's a to and fro thing.
So the whole idea was that it has to be like, though it's in a recording, but it has to sound like, you know, how it is culturally heard. So that's why, first of all, we had to find female singers. So there are 3 voices first recorded, each of them separately, and then together as well. So I remember Muneem's aunt also thoda correction bhi kiya ke, you know, iska pronunciation aisa hona chahiye. So but
Yeah.
then it was really fun when all 3 of them sang together.
And we backed it up with an orchestral backing. So if you hear the main part, the second part, which is where the orchestral backing kicks in, the main one, where we've got some oboe, some cello, violas and violin, and a double bass, kind of a quartet feel, more intimate. And this is how it sounds by itself. The processing on the voices is, we've got some tape machine on the group, some de-essing, some EQ, Harrison 32C, a little more de-essing, and some channel EQ. There's one more verse which goes into the outro of the song. In the one main thing that we changed here was we changed where the kick drum was playing. So the snare drum stays pretty much the same, the hi-hats pretty much the same, but just because of the kick drum you get some folk/Indian feel to it. So I'm gonna quickly give you an example of what I mean by that. This is the groove in the verses before the female vocal section. Here, the pattern of the kick drum changes a little bit, and this is how it sounds. Verses. In the last part of the song, we get into that part using a violin. This is how it sounds by itself. And this is how we enter from the female section into the next verse.
रच समरा अधपोशी शायद सो रही सिर क्या था मगर हिसाब सुबह जखना सिर क्या था मगर हिसाब सुबह जखना थक मुशमशा.
This is an important part here. The string section plays a very particular part which we used as an outro in the song later. So if you hear this part, This is the groove, and this is the orchestral section. So the individual elements used again in the string section would be cello, ensemble sounds. So we've got 3 woodwind tracks, a couple of strings, and a cello. This is how it sounds together. And the whole thing with the groove. Muneem on top of it would be. We've got a few harmonies going on, if you see. With the whole thing itself. There's a distorted sound we used here, which sounds like this by itself. How we achieved that was on the group track for the strings. We used a compressor from Reason Studios, which is this guy. And it kind of makes things distorted. So if you play it now, just by itself. So we did that. We printed the track and we imported the distorted sound back again. We added a few 808 sounds, which is this section here with the groove. This is how it sounds. And the whole thing sounds like this. We got a few female voices in this section, and on top of Muneem's voice, this is how they sound. We'll quickly go through Muneem's voice processing, the lead vocals. The vocal by itself sounds like this.
Dilgeer chumna tsna dor sozakhna Dilgeer chumna tsna dor sozakhna.
We start with some channel UK on the voice, which is cutting the low frequencies and taking the very high frequencies up a little bit. Our compressor to kind of take care of his dynamic. We've got SSL E channel, which is a UAD plugin. Then we've got a chorus on him, which is a chorus June 6 by Arturia. We've got LA2A, which is compressor by UAD again. Then we've got UAD SSL E channel strip again, the legacy one, and then the DSL, quite a few plugins. And this is how the voice sounds with those.
Dilgeer chumna tsna dor sozakhna Dilgeer chumna tsna dor sozakhna Kararosum shingith Vekararan uzunonum Nanavori dras bkhadara nadir buzum orkun Timsun timyon bar lotraveha Thakmushum Shah.
We'll quickly go through the reverbs and delays and any other effects that were used in the song. We've got EMT 140 by itself. This is how it sounds. With the lead vocal. It's a plate reverb. So we've got a slapback delay preset that we've used as Haas effect. This is how it sounds. We've got Little Plate by Sound Toys. This is how this one sounds. Very short reverb. Then we've got a spring reverb. This is a AKG PX20 by UAD. This is one of my favorite reverbs. That's that. And we've got some flanger going, which is then sent to the reverb. And that one sounds like this. Like a modulated voice. The whole thing with the song sounds like this. That is pretty much all the elements that we've used in the song. If there are any questions, you'd like to know anything, please put down in comments. Get in touch with us on Instagram or you can email us. We'll put down the email ID in the description box below. This is the media drives behind the song. Thank you.